Bartenders. What's the strangest thing a regular ever let slip after one too many? The bar was nearly empty except for the town councilman's wife. 3 glasses of Pinot passed her limit. She was staring into her glass when she let out this tired little laugh and said, "You do what you have to keep a family together. Some people just can't let sleeping dogs lie." I paused, wiping down the counter, and asked what she meant. She looked up at me like she'd forgotten I was standing there. "Oh, nothing," she waved a hand. "Some people just don't know when to stop asking questions." Then she laughed again, this thin, brittle sound, and took another sip. I didn't push it that night, but her words stuck in my head for days. You do what you have to. Some people don't know when to stop asking. And then it clicked. 8 months earlier, a guy named Dorian Pratt had gone missing. 22 years old, worked part-time at the hardware store, last seen leaving a party at the councilman's lake house. The case went cold within weeks, officially chalked up to him skipping town over debts. But the whispers around town never quite matched the official story. And now here was the councilman's wife, 3 drinks deep, talking about keeping families together. I remembered Dorian. Not well, but enough. He used to fix bikes for kids in the neighborhood for cash, and my little brother had idolized him. My brother swore for months after Dorian vanished that something wasn't right, that Dorian wouldn't have just left without telling anyone, especially not without his dog. Then, like always happens, the town moved on. Dorian became a name people stopped saying out loud. The next day, I started asking around, casual, testing the water. My usual crowd shrugged it off as old news. But when I mentioned it to Deputy Marsh, who came in most Fridays for a beer after his shift, his face changed. He set his glass down and said quietly, "Some things are better off buried, you know." That was all I needed to hear. I started digging on my own time. Pulled up an old photo of Dorian from the hardware store's community board. Tried to find him on social media. Nothing. No logins, no posts, no forwarding address, like he'd been wiped clean. Then I looked into the councilman's family. Property records, old permits, anything public I could get my hands on. That's when I found it. A storage unit registered to the councilman's brother-in-law, out past the old rail yard. A unit nobody in town ever mentioned. Something told me to go look. I drove out there after my shift ended. The lock was cheap, already scratched up like someone had been in and out recently. Inside there was an old cot, fast food wrappers, a space heater. Someone had been staying there not long ago. And tucked behind a stack of boxes, I found a wallet. Dorian's license was still inside it. I wasn't naive enough to hand that straight to local police. Instead, I photographed everything. The wallet, the property records, and posted it anonymously to a local crime forum along with a description of the drunken comment I'd overheard. It didn't stay local for long. A regional news station picked it up within 2 days, then a bigger outlet ran with it. Within a week, state investigators were combing through the councilman's properties. Then came the part nobody saw coming. The councilman's nephew, the same brother-in-law whose name was on the storage unit, tried to leave the state under a different name. He was stopped at a checkpoint 2 counties over. Once investigators started asking questions, he cracked fast, admitting he and Dorian had gotten into a fight that night over money Dorian was owed, that it had gotten out of hand, and that the family told him to make it disappear before it became a scandal that could sink the councilman's re-election. The councilman resigned within the month. His wife stopped coming into the bar altogether. Dorian's family finally got a real investigation instead of a shrug. I never told anyone it was me who leaked it, but somehow, people started looking at me differently anyway. Some of the regulars started calling me the one who wouldn't let it go, like it was a compliment. Others, friends of the councilman's family, stopped tipping altogether. And one woman told me to my face that I'd ruined a good family over a nobody who probably deserved it. I still think about that sometimes. How easy it would have been to just keep pouring drinks and say nothing. But Dorian's mother came in a few weeks after the arrest, just to say thank you. She didn't know it was me either. I let her think it was luck. Some things you don't need credit for. You just need them to be true.